Alright, guys and girls, welcome back. We're in court. We had a pretty crazy first court showing of this case. He busted out of his shackles. Yeah, what was all that about? Guess they don't make shackles like they used to. Better be careful, Apollo. You really brought out the samurai in him. Especially after you proved there was a Tenmataro impersonator at the manor. What's with that guy and the whole samurai act, anyway?
Such fine swordsmanship. That is no mere act. Mr. Justice, it's high time I challenged this jailhouse prosecutor to a duel.
No, wait. Let's save the dueling until after we prove your innocence.
I suppose it could wait till later.
Does anyone remember we're conducting a trial here? Athena, I'm gonna go wash up. Remember what Blackwell said, Apollo. Don't be late.
Now then, I believe our next witness is Miss Jinxie Tenma, a maid at Kyubi Manor. I believe we can proceed now, if the witness is ready, that is.
Nuraihan, leader of the 100 demons, he really does exist! Wow, that is one well-polished tray.
The witness will show her face while in court, or her testimony will be inadmissible.
Eek!
What is it, my child?
Begone, Nuraihan, leader of the 100 demons!
Ho ho ho, you think I'm a yokai? Well, I was once known as the judicial monster of sorts. The beast of the bar, the demon of due process, if you will.
Eek! My charm has no effect. The demon of due process. Not sure I can see that one.
Now, you little scamp.
Yes?
I trust you know why you're here.
Bags.
Bags? Oh, that Trixie Tanuki? Try the noodle stand, and go enjoy a big bowl of Tanuki tail noodle while you're at it.
Everyone's a comedian. No, I meant your bags. The ones under your eyes. You must have trouble sleeping. Here, this charm will keep Azuki-rai away.
Azuki-rai? The yokai that washes Azuki beans? The only thing needing washing will be your father's neck before I take his head clean off.
Azuki-rai often keeps people up at night with the noise he makes washing beans. But if you stick the charm on your forehead, you won't hear him anymore.
Is that so? Well, thank you.
Looks like Prosecutor Blackwell got more than he bargained for.
They're bad enough alone, but together, those two are just plain creepy. Your testimony, if you please, Miss Tenma. Specifically, whether or not you saw Tenmataro when you discovered the crime scene. What Jinxie saw.
Did I see Tenmataro in the Fox Chamber? Well, when I opened the door, I saw, yes, now I remember. Yokai, right there in that room.
So there was a yokai at the scene of the crime?
Lots and lots of them.
Wait, more than one yokai? Did Tenmataro happen to be among them?
I don't know. I just don't know. All I know is the room was swimming in yokai. Kasha, Narikabe, Seto Taisho, eek, they were all over there.
Well, this is an unexpected turn of events. We've gone from no yokai to a flood of them. This is ludicrous. You would have this court listen to this delusional little scamp's testimony?
Yeah! Your Honor, I believe her memory is simply clouded by fear, but a quick therapy session should ease her mind. With the court's permission, of course.
What a fabulous idea. Please proceed, Miss Sykes.
You sure you know what you're doing, Athena? She's obviously not herself. The trauma of discovering that crime scene and fear of testifying have her dazed and confused. A regular ball of confusion. But my analytical psychology-based approach should be able to help.
Any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? Shall we let Miss Sykes proceed?
It makes no difference to me. Do as you will, but I doubt we shall get any viable testimony. She'd be better served by bearing witness to the sword skills I forged in a distant land. I'll show you. Some psychology time now. She's scared as hell. Damn. Did I see Ted Mataro in the Fox chamber? Oh, when I opened the door, shiver, I saw it. Yes, now I remember. Yokai, right there in the room. Found something. Looks like an out-of-control emotion. Athena, what exactly are we looking at here? Oh, it's one of Widget's functions. Right here, you can see images and emotions extracted from the witness's voice. Whoa. You mean that little thing can do all this? Pretty cool, huh? And here I thought it was just some kid's toy. Unfortunately, all I'm getting is an overflow error right now. See how sad is brightly lit there at the bottom left? She's under an uncontrollable amount of distress, which is masking her other emotions. It seems the sheer terror she experienced has made her a confused mess. So all those yokai she thinks she saw are a product of rampant emotions. Yes, that's right. Her fear has instilled in her hallucinations and false memories. She's seeing normal, everyday objects as monsters in her mind. It's a form of schizophrenic hallucination brought on by emotional trauma. And the trauma in Jinxie's case is fear. So she was and still is seeing ordinary objects as yokai. We'll have to find the root cause of her extreme fear before I can treat it. Now let's see. Apollo, can you point out the yokai on the Wheel of Fire? She seems particularly terrified of that one. Tap and probe. Next, point to what's causing Jinxie's out-of-control emotion. Finally, tap probe again to try to get to the heart of it. Okay, let's give it a try. Cat monster on a Wheel of Fire. Got it! Jinxie, what's the name of that yokai on a Wheel of Fire? That's Akasha, a yokai that steals the bodies of the recently deceased. I bet it came to steal the aldermans. It's almost creepy how well that fits the actual situation. Exactly. It's a form of hallucination where the patient can't see things for what they are. There must be something at the scene of the crime that she's mistaken for Akasha. Apollo, you need to point out what she thought was a yokai on a Wheel of Fire. I think I know the answer now. Jinxie, that wasn't Akasha you saw. Could you have possibly mistaken this for Akasha? Take that! The light fixture? This one right here. It has a flame design and it is up there on the ceiling. There was never a yokai on a Wheel of Fire. The Akasha you saw was just a light fixture. Eek! Alright, so we're debunking all her weird emotions. That's one memory back to normal. Nice job. Now that you've got the hang of it, it should be a cinch to point out the rest. Jinxie, what about this white wall-like monster? That's Nurikabe. It's a wall monster that blocks your way or leads you astray. That's no yokai, Jinxie. It's a folding screen. Eek! And this raccoon dog isn't a tanuki monster. It's just a statue of one. Eek! And look, these are just coffee cups, and this right here, it's nothing more than a fox statue. Eek! I don't know what I was thinking. We got it down to 50. You did it, Apollo. Her extreme fear is under control now. It was all just my eyes playing tricks on me. There weren't any yokai after all. See? A clear-cut statement. That's the power of my psychology and your intuition, Apollo. And just like we thought, there never really were any yokai in the Fox Chamber. Right. There never really were any yokai there. So the defense is asserting the exact opposite of their original assertion? I know, right? Because we're trying to tell them that Tenmataro was there. Wait. Jinxie, what about Tenmataro? There wasn't anyone there dressed up as Tenmataro or any other yokai either. I remember it clearly now. You've gotta be joking! Order! Order in the court! I think we just dug our own grave. Allow me to push you on in. Push you on in. It's the least I could do. No! Apollo, can I interrupt your freak out for just a minute? I'm still picking up some noise. It's an unexpected emotion. Does that mean Jinxie hasn't remembered everything yet? Exactly. We should be able to get something else out of her. I'll enter the new information we have and run on an update. Alright, so we got her other emotions working though. Did I see Tenmataro in the Fox Chamber? She's surprised. This seems like an unnatural reaction. Really? Because I don't see it that way. So it isn't unexpected given her testimony? Hello? Is there anybody in there? Just nod if you can hear me. Yes, there is someone at home. And that someone is going to try that again. Okay, sorry. There in the Fox Chamber I saw the alderman dead on the table and Papa collapsed in the chair. Nobody else was there, and that includes Tenmataro.
Got it.
This seems... Okay. Well, she has no unnatural things in her testimony then, right?
Got it.
She was more shocked than scared. Oh, come on! Work with me here, Athena. Wait, what am I supposed to do? Try to find the emotion that contradicts her statement. Okay. So yeah, I have to find something that contradicts her statement.
Got it.
Why isn't that an unnatural statement? She was shocked. she had to have seen something, right?
Got it!
I don't get this one at all.
Got it! Got it!
Oh, come on.
Got it! Got it! Got it!
Oh my god. Yeah, see the intensity of an emotion. Like right here, she says her sad emotion is going nuts. Alright, but nothing's wrong with it. Alright. It's gotta be the intensity of the emotion I'm looking for. And right here, she was scared and shocked. But it's nothing there. Alright. And see, now she wasn't so scared, but she was shocked.
Got it!
This is it. 'Cause she wasn't so scared. The amount of fear you felt is rather low, despite your legs having given out from fright. Could something have lessened your fear? Actually, I did experience a sudden burst of courage at that moment. You did? Where did it come from? Let me think. Oh, it was Mama. I suddenly felt as if she was there with me. Okay, I'll enter a sudden burst of courage. Now let's see. Ah, look. Oh, she looks courageous. Apollo, the noise is all gone. Jinxie seems to have remembered everything now. Nice. So we get a straight testimony from her. Or statement, testimony, whatever. A sudden burst of courage. Now where could that have come from? Jinxie, was there something that gave you a sudden burst of courage? Yes, there was, but I realized I had done something naughty when I thought about it later. Any idea what could have given Jinxie that courage? Well, there is one piece of evidence that comes to mind. I wonder if she saw something like it at the scene of the crime. Jinxie, did your sudden burst of courage have anything to do with...
Take that!
Jinxie, You didn't happen to see a nine-tails flower there at the scene, did you? Ah, the demon lawyer strikes again. I can't hide anything from you. I found a small case with a picture of a nine-tails flower on it. I liked it so much I kept it. You what? You can't remove evidence from a crime scene.
That's right, young lady. Removing evidence is a big no-no.
Now the witness will produce said evidence this instant. Sorry.
It does seem to be some sort of case. Oh, look, something slid out. It appears to be a key.
Might I have a look, your baldness? Ah. This is none other than the master key to Kyubi Manor.
Are you certain of this, Prosecutor Blackwell?
It matches the serial number of the key that went missing after the murder. A master key that went missing. Why don't I like the sound of that? Our little scamp here has stumbled upon an article of unimaginable consequence. That's a little melodramatic, don't you think? Heed these words, for I shall say them but once. The sole key to the Fox Chamber has been in this little scamp's constant possession. Ergo, she was the sole person who could use it before, during, and after the murder, which leaves the master key as the only other key that could have opened the chamber. But this master key was found in a room that had been locked by this girl. And your point is, until Jinxie Tenma opened the Fox Chamber with her key, the room had been locked tight from the outside world, and there was no one else in there save the victim and his killer. I trust you have figured it out for yourself by now. A killer other than Mayor Tenma himself would be utterly inconceivable. No! Oh crap. It's not looking good for Tenma. It's not looking good for Apollo. Objection! How could this happen? Nah!
The defense's assistant will refrain from growling her frustrations.
Athena, are you alright? I know Mayor Tenma's innocent, but there's nothing we can do. This sucks. Sykes, Dono. Allow me to put you out of your misery. Can I decline your offer? Abandon your client and your misplaced faith in him. Let the relief of a clear head and a clean conscience come rushing in. That will make the inevitable guilty verdict far easier to accept. Great. Now he's playing Simon Says with us. Well, he's not going to fool us with his stupid mind games. Athena, don't fall for his tricks. Now I'm the one who's dazed and confused. I can't even think straight. Hey, are you alright? She fell right into his trap. Now I suggest you make a mad dash from the courtroom and into the wild blue yonder. Only by running shall your mind be cleared and your conscience cleansed. Alright, I'll be back in 10. Stay with me, Athena. Don't let yourself be twisted by that samurai. Apollo?
Mr. Justice, I heard the word objection, but what is it you object to?
Huh? Oh, right. That objection was more of a reflex than anything else. Though I was hoping something would come to me while I was trying to stop Athena.
The court is waiting, Mr. Justice, though as it stands now, I'll be forced to declare your client guilty and your legal skills suspect, if this is it. Now, do you have anything that could overturn the prosecution's case?
Well, actually, I do. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine. Apollo, you do have something more than your cords of steel, don't you? Not really, but we'll be fine. But... I've got absolutely nothing, but that's never stopped me before. I have to explain how the real killer could have escaped that locked room.
because it's all over if I don't.
Apollo, this calls for a new approach. Try to think outside the box. Or in this case, inside the box.
And what a doozy that locked room is, too. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have anything that can counter the prosecution's argument?
You bet I do. The real killer must have escaped from the locked room one way or another.
Vague conjecture shall only earn you a taste of my blade, Justice Dono.
Time to do or die, literally.
The defense will now explain how it would be possible to escape the locked room.
You sure about this, Apollo? Can you really explain what happened?
I'm fine. We just need to think this whole escaping a locked room thing over from the beginning. So, let's see. If the killer had escaped, how could they have done so?
The choices are pretty limited. The room has a window, but it doesn't open wide enough for anyone to get through, and there's a sheer cliff outside. As for the air vent, it's up too high, and there's nothing you could stand on to reach it. Needless to say, the forbidden chamber wouldn't open no matter what we did, so that's out.
Yeah, that's why we gotta keep the solution simple. Like they say, simple is best. We need to rule out all of the absolutely impossible escape routes. Then whatever's left just might lead us to how the Fox Chamber was compromised. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the killer escaped through here.
Take that!
A nearly escapable room. How could he escape?
Take that!
Ow. Where did he escape from? I'm probably gonna fail this completely.
Take that!
I'm just kind of clicking now. I don't know.
This one's stomping me.
Take that!
That one's hard, man.
The unescapable room. How could they get out? hallway door? Well, yes, I suppose that would be the only way out. It would appear you've already forgotten. The only available key until Jinxie Tenma came on scene was within that locked room. How would one exit the Fox Chamber and then lock it without a key, I should have seen this coming.
Remember, Apollo, keep it simple.
Simple, right. I can understand if the killer had exited the room with the key, but... Well, Mr. Justice, the prosecution has some fine Japanese steel waiting unless you explain yourself quickly.
I'm fine. I can explain myself. Nope, that's wrong. That's totally wrong.
Oh, God. It locked on its own.
No, it didn't. It should have been the simple answer, and I'm trying to think elaborately. Alright. The perp locked it from outside.
What if the room was locked from the outside? In other words, the killer took the key through the hallway door, then knocked it. Yeah! Consider this. The master key was found inside the tightly locked Fox chamber. Any assertion that the key was removed from that room is a blatant contradiction of fact.
Exiting the room before locking the door would require taking the key outside. But the key was found inside the room, which does seem like a contradiction.
If only we could explain both. Like how the key could be inside the room and be used to lock the door from outside. Well, let's see if the defense can respond before Prosecutor Blackwell draws his sword. How could the master key be at the crime scene despite the room being locked?
He threw it in from outside.
What if someone threw it into the room from outside? You know, something like go out the hallway door, lock the room, and then toss the key back in through the window? That would explain how the master key could be inside the locked room. And where would you throw it from? There's a cliff outside the Fox Chamber's window. Throwing the key in from there is an impossibility.
Oh, right. Ah!
I wonder if the key could have been tossed in from somewhere other than the window. Somewhere other than the window. Could the key have been tossed in through somewhere other than the window?
Yeah, through the air duct.
Take that!
The air vent? Yes. The window may be out of the question, but the air vent's not.
Excuse me.
Oh, that's right. The Fox Chamber's air ducts leads out into the hallway. That's right. The real killer entered the air duct from the vent outside the Fox Chamber, then dropped the key into the room through the vent inside the chamber. Roar! That's preposterous.
Oh, that explains how the key got in there after it was used to lock the door perfectly.
Mr. Justice, I'm afraid I'm a bit confused. Don't worry. I'll explain it so even Your Honor can understand. First, the real killer disguised as Tenma Taro murdered the alderman in the Fox Chamber. Then they fled the room through the hallway door and locked it. Next, they entered the air duct from the vent outside in the hallway. Finally, the killer tossed the key into the room through the air vent in the ceiling there.
All that was left to do after that was go back through the duct and flee the manor. Well, Your Honor, could that be any clearer?
Amazing. Even I could follow that.
The judge seems really pleased. That explains everything. The real killer was someone dressed up like Tenmataro. And there was someone else other than the mayor and the alderman in that room.
Hey, it looks like that lawyer has beaten the jailbird prosecutor. Whoa, that was a total turnabout. That massive forehead of his seems so much better. Order, 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 I say.
Now that I've proved the possible third party, I don't see how our client could be guilty.
Silence.
Uh-oh. A valiant effort, Justice Dono. But your final thrust missed its mark. Huh? Both that little scamp and the tricksy Tanuki saw the yokai after it left the room. But then what? Did that irksome yokai simply go through the foyer and waltz right out the front door? That's exactly what happened. The killer fled from the... Youch! But that is impossible without being spotted by the foyer security camera, that is. The electric eye here would have captured any pesky little yokai trying to escape. However, there is no sign of Tenmataro anywhere in the security footage. What? Save for the foyer entrance, there is no other way to flee the manor, is there? I don't feel so good. Wait, I believe there is one other way to escape besides the foyer entrance. There's a large window in the foyer. It's possible to escape through there without being seen by the security camera. Hey, you're right.
Silence.
Must I point out every crucial detail to the defense? It seems you lack not only brains but investigative prowess to boot. That is the cliff side of the manor. The only killer escaping that way would be a dead one. No! Wait, so the killer didn't escape out the foyer window? What the heck, right? I suppose your next proposal is the killer sprouted wings and flew off into the sunset? That would mean the killer really was a yokai. If only we had some sort of evidence that could point to a flying killer. Who's saying we don't? As completely far-fetched as it might be. What? You're saying you can prove the killer could fly? Yeah. How don't you remember? You gave it to me. Wow! I thought I was the one with the cords of steel.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Your Honor.
What evidence do you have that the killer flew away?
Right here.
Take that.
Take a look at this special edition paper. Tenmataro,
Real flight of fancy. What does this article prove, Mr. Justice?
The photo in that article was taken shortly after the murder. Maybe the yokai in that photo is the killer shortly after they fled out the window?
Mr. Justice, you're not seriously suggesting...
Oh, I'm serious. I mean, it all adds up. The killer disguised as Tenmataro flew away. You know, by some way or another.
Silence.
It is your brain that has flown the coop. That image is naught but trick photography, or some other form of artifice. Okay then, how about the Tenmataro figure? Mr. Filch saw it. It just vanished into thin air? No, there's a rational common sense explanation for that. That infernal yokai, our tricksy Tanuki witness, never reached the entrance. He, or should I say she, turned back before the camera's electric eye. She? I don't like where this is going one bit. Now the fact that we know the yokai had come from the Fox Chamber means that it was likely either Mayor Damien Tenma or his daughter, Jinxie Tenma. However, we know that Mayor Tenma was already unconscious at the time. Not good. Not good at all. Do you understand the gravity of the situation now, Justice Dono? The falsified yokai remnants and the appearance of Tenma Taro were the work of one individual. And that individual is none other than Jinxie Tenma. Oh, crap. Really? I'm over here talking about flying yokais, and that his theory seems more far-fetched. Ah, no!
Order! Order! The defense will stop competing for the greatest freak-out ever.
The little scamp was no doubt simply trying to protect her father. And it's no wonder that her superstitious mind conjured up this mad masquerade.
Prosecutor Blackwell's assertion makes perfect sense to me. It's far more convincing than saying the killer escaped by flying out the window.
Did you truly believe this could end any other way? Did we fall right into his trap? What do we do now, Apollo? Our case no longer stands without a real yokai. If only we had one. Bailiff, seize her. It is time I interrogated her as the samurai of your wood. Oh. Mayor Tenma. This farce is over. How does it feel seeing your own daughter accused of a cover-up most foul?
Tenma Taro's true identity is...
Now, Mr. Mayor. It would be futile at this point to claim you were the yokai. After all, you had been knocked out cold by a blow to the skull. Slipping into a yokai costume and roaming about the manor would be all but impossible. Consider this well. As it stands, your daughter will be arrested for obstruction of justice. But if you confess, the prosecution would be willing to overlook her little yokai farce.
Confess? The defendant intends to confess.
Wait. Apollo! Prosecutor Blackwell's up to his mind games again. Mayor Tenma, no! Don't fall for his twisted words. If you're sent away for murder, Jinxie will be left all alone.
The real killer is...
Mayor Tenma's going to confess unless we do something. But I can't prove how the real killer could have flown away.
Caw. Look upon me in despair, for ripe is the time for my return.
Uh-oh. I should watch what I wish for. What the hell?
Caw, foolish mortals! I am Tenma Taro, the yokai you seek!
Mayor Tenma...
Silence! I am Tenma Taro, freed from the bonds binding me to the Forbidden Chamber! Behold the return of the Demon King!
What the... Demon King?
Well then, I think it's time for me to take a vacation!
Wow.
The witness will, he will explain himself. Are you saying you're Tenma Taro, the yokai we've been chasing this whole time? Indeed. It is I, Tenma Taro, the one whom you seek, come to reveal the truth. This child is Tenma Taro, you say? Huh, what nonsense.
So, Mayor Tenma is a yokai now?
Caw, his body is now mine. So you're saying that Mayor Tenma is being possessed by you, and that the yokai that Jinxie Tenma and Phineas Filch saw, and the one captured in the newspaper photo, those were all you. The accursed power of these warding charms prevents me from revealing my true form. Your baldness.
Can this not be interpreted as an admission of guilt?
Well, a confession by a yokai would be quite unprecedented.
Be that as it may, the defense's case has been overturned. Huh? What? You claim the yokai that little scamp saw was some third party, the true killer. The one who escaped from the locked fox chamber, but it was the accused all along. Nah. Ironic, is it not? Your yokai turned out to be real in a manner of speaking. For the alderman's killer is none other than Mayor Tenma, and the yokai at the scene. That too was Mayor Tenma, or should I say, our dear Tenma Taro. The pieces have all fallen into place. How so, Prosecutor Blackwell? It seems I must spell it all out for you. Mayor Tenma killed the alderman in the fox chamber, which was locked at the time. He then removed the warding charm from the forbidden chamber's door, but then fell unconscious from the blow the alderman had delivered to his head. That's when his daughter, Jinxie Tenma, stumbled on the scene of the crime. The little scamp fled in terror, whereupon the spirit of Tenma Taro, freed at last from the charm's warding effect, took possession of the mayor. The newly freed Tenma Taro then fled from the fox chamber. So you see, the yokai Jinxie Tenma saw was her father, possessed by Tenma Taro.
Objection!
But when we arrived on scene, the mayor was found unconscious. How's that possible if he was supposed to have flown out the foyer window? Then what? Do you mean to say the maid of Kyubi Manor, Jinxie Tenma, was Tenma Taro? No. Ah! Damn, we're in a corner so bad.
That too is easily explained. Flew about for a time did I, but presently tired I made for the forbidden chamber. But alas, exhaustion took me unawares in the fox chamber, and I knew no more.
It would seem the pieces are still in place. Is Blackwell up to his tricks again?
I don't know what to say. Is the defendant a real life?
So that rumor about Mayor Tenma is true? I knew yokai were real. You mean he really did kill the alderman just so he could release Tenma Taro?
Order! Order!
Now he's got everyone in the courtroom believing in yokai. It's Simon Says on steroids. He wants to convict our client any way he can, even if it means blaming a yokai.
The proverbial ducks are all in a row.
You should now have no qualms about finding the accused guilty, your baldness.
This is one of the most bizarre cases in my entire career. Otherworldly, in fact. Can yokai even be prosecuted under our legal system?
Objection!
Mayor Tenma is just pretending to be Tenma Taro to protect his daughter. Plus, I already proved how a third party could have escaped from the locked room. A verdict at this point would be premature.
Since both sides have raised valid points, I've no choice but to.
Silence!
This is the dark age of law, where defense attorneys are not to be trusted. This is but a play to gain time for them to fabricate evidence. How will I sleep tonight, knowing you will not let the sun rise on the mayor's day of reckoning? Justice Dono?
Objection!
I won't fabricate any evidence.
Silence!
Then prove it by joining me. A night in the clink will ensure you will not succumb to temptation. How about I just promise not to succumb to anything? We have both evidence and a confession. The killer is this yokai before us. It is beyond dispute. A guilty verdict is all but... No! What's wrong with him?
Prosecutor Blackwell, we've had enough of your hijinks. The foundation of justice is fair play, and you are in a serious violation of that. What in the devil was that? Fulbright, have you tampered with my shackles in some manner? It seems you found that quite shocking. It's my special jolt of justice device. Each press is a shocking reminder to behave. You shall pay for this. I, Simon Blackwell. Your Honor, you need not fear now. I believe Prosecutor Blackwell will remain on his best behavior. A bit late with the reassurance, aren't we, Detective? Well, in that case, ahem. This concludes today's deliberations. The prosecution and defense will use this opportunity to further their investigation. This court is adjourned. To be continued. Alright. Well, that's heating up. On the next part, I guess we do a little bit more investigating. We got a lot more to do in this case. Hopefully, we can turn it around. It doesn't seem to be going quite in our favor. It was back and forth a little bit, and during it a little bit in there, but yeah, now it's starting to turn. We'll see. I'll see you guys later.